We all have heard of Equifax. Equifax Incorporated is an American national um, consumer credit agency. It is one of the three largest consumer credit reporting agencies along with Experian and TransUnion. Equifax collects information of over 800 million individual customers and more than 88 million businesses worldwide. In 2017, attackers exfiltrated hundreds of millions of customer records from the credit reporting agency. Although it wasn't one of the biggest breaches of 2017, the kind of data lost was highly sensitive and affected as many as 146 million US customers during mid May to July 2017. Criminal hackers carried out an attack and infiltration of Equifax servers. This resulted in unauthorized access to the personal information of nearly 44% of the US population. The company was initially hacked via a consumer complaint web portal, with the attackers using a widely known vulnerability called Apache Struts that should have been patched. But Apache Struts vulnerability was known as CVE 2017-5638 was publicly announced on March 8, 2017, along with a fix. However, Equifax did not patch the issue for 146 days. Because of this, the attackers were able to move from web portal to other servers as the systems were not adequately segmented from one another. On March 15th, Equifax IT team ran a series of scans to identify any unpatched systems. Unfortunately, the scans did not work and multiple vulnerabilities were missed. Thus, none of the vulnerable systems were flagged nor patched. So, how did these discrepancies come to light? Equifax hired a consulting firm called Mandiant to assess their systems. This was when Mandiant had warned Equifax about multiple unpatched and misconfigured systems. But how did they remove all the data without being caught by Equifax's administrators? This leads up to another Equifax's botch. They failed to renew one of their public key certificates for nearly 10 months, which meant that encrypted traffic wasn't being inspected. This also meant that it would be harder for Equifax admins to detect the large amounts of encrypted data that the attackers were stealing. So, what are the lessons learned from the Equifax breach? 1. Understand that no network is invulnerable. Equifax was breached as it failed to patch a basic vulnerability, even though the necessary procedures were in place. Such patches were to be applied promptly. The stealing of huge amounts of data went undetected only because someone had failed to renew a security certificate. Thus, Equifax has proper security gear but fails to implement and manage it properly. 2. Data governance is key. Equifax could have been more hesitant to give their content access. They could be more stingy with allowing access and should allow access to database content only on a need to know basis. This is so that a trusted individual doesn't gain control of an account and go crazy. Systems also need to watch out for suspicious database queries. The attackers in this case executed almost 9,000 database queries in a very short period of time, which should have been a red flag. And lastly, silos are defensible. They are closed off from other systems and managements. In Equifax's case, once the breach were inside the perimeter, they were able to easily jump from machine to machine and database to database due to poor segmentation. Hence, it is important to follow the NIST cybersecurity framework in order to identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. Equifax failed to identify the vulnerability in its systems. They failed to renew their certificate, hence, they did not protect. They also failed to detect the infiltration as timely patches were not applied. They also failed to respond adequately to the infiltration and only went public after 4 months of the attack. And Equifax was unable to recover fully from the attack as we don't know where the stolen data is available in the dark web.